And by the way, guys, if you should know, when I had the idea of launching this class, it was uh, it was probably with a mindset that, oh, I'll have 20, 30 people of our closest community join, and then uh, we will give them whatever value I can. And then, but over the past week, it turned into something bigger than I imagined. So thank you all. Appreciate everyone in there. And this is a Saturday, so y'all could be doing pretty much anything, but you're here. So that means we're all in on the same mission, is to change the way we work, change the way we think, and change the way we execute things. All right, it is 10:03, Saturday, April 18th, and this is first of our next two sessions. Uh, where we're going to talk about AI, how it's changing the world, changing our lives. And we're also going to talk about the tools available to us. Um, I have spent the last entirety of last year studying different tools, different LLMs, if you may, different chatbots, different AI designers available to us, but there was something that was always broken, if I may. And when I say broken, broken in the way that there was not a single tool that would actually help us. I think it was a transitional phase, but that phase I think is pretty much done, and this is real. So before we begin, a uh, lot of people I talk to, almost pretty much everyone. There's a group of people who love AI, want to do a lot of stuff with that, but then there's a group of people who are either hesitant or dismissive of AI. So let me first break down something which was kind of a epiphany for me. One night I was just thinking, and I had just experienced something with a newer AI tool. So back when I was 14 years old, my dad once told me that everything humans imagine, dream, experience comes from a predefined set of learning, education, experiences. Um, and anything we even imagine, invent, discover comes within the confines of those experiences. So if you kind of put your heads to it, and I've been thinking about this a lot over the years as I grew up, that no matter how hard I try, every bit of imagination that comes to my mind, things someone could invent, someone can discover, comes from a predefined set of data of what we know, what we've observed, what we've learned, and what we discovered in that endeavor. And that made me think that, okay, I agree with that fact now. So humans consume knowledge or impart knowledge within a certain set of confine, right? And we all believe AI is different. But keep a watch on the slide. The only thing I changed was replace human with AI. What is AI? AI works within the confines of what it has been taught, educated upon, and then discovers, invents new ideas from those confines. And that got me thinking, um, is it true that someone we call God who created us created the same way we're creating AI? It is just a really basic start to that phase. And I think what I derive from these two comparisons is that AI will become a part of our lives. Humans and bots, humans and AI will become a symbiotic relationship going into the future. And that dream that humans had, that we could work a few hours, enjoy the rest, experience uh, planet Earth, experience life, is going to become a reality and we will soon get away from the daily grind. And that is what I'm here to deliver today because we work hard, not 9 to 5. That's just a saying. We actually work almost 18, 17, 20 hours sometimes when it needs to be. And this presentation, I think, would help us reduce those work hours. Now, why is AI important? I think not going into the future, it is started and going into by the end of this year. And this is something Elon Musk was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I heard him say, which really resonated with me. If you're moving pixels, your skills are going to be obsolete. But if you're moving atoms, you will be just fine. And what do I mean by that? So when I say moving pixels, I pretty much say anything that can be done on a screen and a machine, which is a computer, uh, probably you're not going to be required to do that in the coming 6 months, 8 months, and more so ever going into the next year. But if you're moving atoms, and what does that mean? That if you're moving things around you, shaking hands with people, going out doing construction, plumbing, fixing cars, if you're creating buildings, again, sorry, construction. But if you're doing anything that moves atoms around you, meeting people, building your community, that is not going to go away because uh, I think the source of humanity's um, uh, aim to grow, flourish, and wander upon the universe, discover new things is because we have connections, is because we do it for ourselves, for the people we love, or to build a better life for ourselves. So, and it really, really resonated with me that if you're moving atoms, you will just be fine. And that is, again, what I aim to deliver today. That by the end of the next Saturday session, I think we all can go back to focusing on meeting people and moving atoms. Um, what is AI? And I'm breaking down this quick because it is essential to know how AI works to make better use of AI. And why I say that is um, either you're dismissive of AI or hesitant of using AI or scared of using AI. It's all normal because we as humans usually are scared of things we have not experienced yet. But fortunately, things are going in the right direction, and we have some tools which are secure for the most part, which are uh, really useful for every day and actually help reduce our workload. Now, every AI, as I said, is a collection of experiences, every document ever written, every poem ever written, every movie ever shot, every music piece ever written. Human knowledge for the past thousands of years, which have been documented, have been collectively scanned, analyzed, and categorized in what we call LLMs, which is large language models. And then using machine learning, which is basically a fancy way or a higher end way of learning from that data and then combining that data in such a way that it can produce outcomes based out of questions. But behind all of this, you got to think, how does AI actually work? It is basically a probability and prediction algorithm. So when humans, as humans, we say a whole sentence, "Hey, how are you doing today?" Uh, we don't even know how powerful our brains are because in that nanoseconds of nanoseconds, our brain has uh, analyzed and predicted what word should come after the other to complete the sentence. And that is why when we go to school, we're taught, hey, like recite this whole sentence, recite a poem, because by method of practice, listening, recitation, and experience, we are able to form full sentences. Exactly the ground and the base where AI comes in and how AI works. So the algorithms basically predict what's coming next, And then there's a certain set of checks built in which say, were you right? Were you wrong? And it corrects itself and then eventually produces the right answer. Now, if you go back a year behind, the chatbots hallucinated and they were not accurate because they were still learning how to form accurate sentences. They were still learning, or probably the machine learning code behind them was getting better each day. And as we move forward into the future, it's only going to get better with more compute. And when I say compute, it is more hardware, more hardware technologies, better, larger server farms, data centers that can serve uh, these AI agents as we know of. And then at the end of the line is the expert systems, which is basically data processing, data generation, and data distribution. That is what we experience at consumers, where we actually are not even we don't even give a second thought to the first three of them. What matters to us is the output, what I ask and what can it do for me. That is what matters to us at the end of the day. Now, once you understand this concept, you will realize that the same way we learned, AI learns from our experiences, our documentation of history, and everything we've ever produced. And as of today, actually not as of today, as of last year, February 2025, every known LLM across the globe, which is basically the collection of data used by AIs. And you hear this fancy word all over the place, LLMs, this LLM. China came up with a new LLM, then US came up with a better LLM. It is nothing but better collection of data. And as of February 2025 last year, AIs have scanned every possible human text, music, video, anything documented, and they moved on to the next phase, which is getting updated every day from more data that we produce on the internet, on the websites, the ads we publish, um, and the things we do online. But more so, the AI gear shifted from, hey, I only know this much from human experiences to how can I use these experiences to invent, discover, and provide better experiences. And it's only going to get better, as I said. So going into the future, I think we will start to see a lot more, and I'm not kidding when I say this, a lot more newer inventions, newer discoveries coming from AI itself, which probably we haven't been able to make a breakthrough on. Just quickly about numbers before we get to the good stuff. As of today, $15.7 trillion have been projected as contributions to the global GDP by 2030 from just AI's growth alone. That is mind-boggling. To put it into perspective, this kind of growth hasn't been seen since the dawn of the human civilization. 100 million people signed up to ChatGPT in the first 2 months when it was launched a couple of years back. Productivity and task completion has grown by 120% in companies who have adopted AI as their primary coding agent or even marketing agents. What I mean by that is getting from A to Z on a certain task is now 120% faster. And 77% of businesses across the United States, I do not have global data accurately, but across the United States have shifted their focus on actively exploring AI as the forefront technology upgrade to their operations, to the sales process, and pretty much everything that we know of. Thank you, Paninga. And you're right. I think going forward, a lot of companies I know, some of them I can name, IBM, Apple, as of yesterday, provided a mandate that every developer within the organization has to attend Develop with AI bootcamp. IBM has started firing employees, sadly, but it's It's what the world's current situation is if they don't know AI. And some companies have actually put on uh, KPI that if you've not consumed X number of AI credits, then you're probably not using AI and you're not needed anymore. So, as business owners, as professionals, as people who want a better life for us, and I'm guessing everyone who's joining us today, this is essential, this is crucial. But if you embrace it, I can assure you this will change the way we work. Now, why did I choose Claude? Because my session today is primarily going to be focused on Claude. And as I have gone through pretty much all the major three top known AI agents, services, LLMs, whatever you might call them, um, ChatGPT and Gemini did not fall into the category where they can actually help us solve our everyday tasks. Um, ChatGPT, for one, I hate to say this, but it is true. It is the most condescending, gaslighting data AI that I've ever seen. It'll challenge you just to make sure that ChatGPT feels right about what it's saying. Gemini is too polite, and I do not like politeness when it comes to work. Uh, I do not like agent that simply agrees with me because it wants me to make it happy, make me happy. And what I've realized is Gemini is really good at something, which is video, image, text, and live. What I mean by that, it is the only most accurate multimodal agent out there. In the next week's session, we're going to cover how amazing it is when it comes to video. And y'all got to realize why is it that good? Because it is learned from the billions of videos served on Google, YouTube, because it is owned by Google. No other agent in this top three selection has access to YouTube videos directly. And that is why Gemini is really good at video, but all of the other formats of communication. And I will show you how to use Gemini in the next session really accurately, so accurately that it's scary sometimes, but I love it. Claude, on the other hand, the company Anthropic focused on one simple thing. What do people want? They want to be able to build websites. They want to be able to uh, run ads. They want to be able to analyze their business. They want to be able to um, analyze documents uh, and legal. Uh, we pay a shit ton of money to lawyers and attorneys. So what Claude got it right was it trained its entire model on not only all the things that I mentioned before, but also on the legal framework. So it'll still tell you, I'm not a lawyer, get a lawyer, but now you are a smarter client to the lawyer because you know your shit before you go in. So I'll show you everything today. That is why we're gonna work with Claude. I'm gonna show you how to install Claude on your systems. If anyone is present here who's working with me, feel free to install Claude alongside. I'm gonna take you through the whole process. And if you have questions, please drop it in the chat and I will answer them after each segment. So, without waiting further, let's get started. And let me switch some screens. All right. And I'm going to move this out, pardon me. And I'm going to bring my Claude up. All right. So, here's the first thing we would start doing is, let me open up a new window. All right. So if you look at my browser, I want you all to, when you start your journey with Claude, whether you have a Mac or a Windows computer, I want you to search the relevant term, Claude for Mac, Claude for Windows, and you will be able to go to this page and able to download Claude Desktop for either Mac or Windows. Now, this is crucial to make Claude really productive. It has to run off your computer and not a web browser. You can still use the web browser when you're logged into Claude and use it for almost 50-60% of the things you do, which is talking to a chat agent, getting answers to your questions. But when it comes to real productive work, I would strongly suggest download the relevant client for Mac or Windows. And then I'm going to walk you through this setup process next. How we install is not important. How we configure Claude is what's going to matter because once you configure it right, 90% of your work is done. Then the output that you get from Claude is going to be, I would call most accurate to your brand, to your like possible outcomes that you're looking for. All right. So once you've downloaded Claude, install Claude and sign in into it, what you will do is, let me go into my settings. So once you've installed Claude, sign into an account, and I strongly suggest try the free tier until you run out of credits, and it's $20 a month to upgrade. But in just the next 2 or 3 segments, when I show you what it can do, that $20 will feel like pennies. It's less than what you pay for coffee in probably 5 days. So, uh,
Addie, Addie, when
yeah,
it asks you if you want to make changes to your desktop, is that a yes or a no when you downloading it?
yes,
Thank
yes,
you. Thank you.
yeah. All right. Now, when you've logged in, I want you to go into settings, and with or without a paid subscription, most of the settings are going to be the same. So please follow along. And again, those who are joining, you will get a full recording of this. And if you're not able to follow along now, you can follow the entire video and experiment and learn at your own convenience. All right. So let's look at the general settings first. Um, your full name, what do you want Claude to call you? It could be your real name, it could be anything you want, and what describes your function. Now, so far in my experimentation, I have not found real use of this. This is probably if you're working in a company and you want to designate yourself to a team, then it's working. But otherwise, I don't think it changes the responses in any way. Notifications, response completions, keep it turned off. You don't need it. Emails from Claude Code on the web. What primarily it does is if Claude finishes a task or needs a response, it'll email you. I have it turned off because I've never needed that, but feel free to turn it on. Doesn't change anything. And then get push notifications on your phone when Claude message you in Dispatch. Now, Claude Dispatch is something where Claude desktop is running. You can walk away and actually give instructions to your computer Claude from your phone, and it'll do everything that you asked for, just like you were at your computer. I do not use Claude Dispatch as of now, so I have it turned on. But when we discuss Claude Dispatch next week, I'll show you if it's worth exploring into or not. Color mode, background animation, this is totally your choice. I leave it as it is. And then privacy, location metadata, I keep it on because when you're interacting with Claude and talking about location, hey, find the top 5 businesses near me, or what's the best school to go to, or what is the best multifamily company around me, this helps a lot. And then help improve Claude, I have turned it on because I'm using so much of their server resources. Might as well help them, but you can keep it turned off. Uh, then usage. Now, this is Leah, to your question, I'm working off the paid version. There is no difference between the paid and the free version until you hit a limit. And boy, do you hit a limit pretty soon on Claude, and I'm going to show you how. But it's all worth it. Now, usage is where when you're using Claude, it'll tell you how much of the capacity allocated to your free or paid account is used. And that way you can keep track. There's a new thing that came out yesterday, which is Claude Design. And Leslie, my dear friend and the CEO at XI, um, he texted me at 9. I didn't see his message because I was busy experimenting with Claude Design. It launched literally yesterday, and I went to sleep at I think 12 a.m. And I saw his message and I thought, okay, we'll talk about that in the morning. But that by that time, my mind was blown away by what I saw, and I'm going to show you that towards the end of this session. Daily included routine runs. This is something of a heavy schedule that you configure on Claude. Doesn't matter as of now. And turn on extra usage. Now, this is important for people who've got a paid subscription. You will run out of credits if you do really heavy use like coding or building an elaborate marketing plan. So you can actually turn on this extra usage and set a limit. So, okay, for a month, I might spend extra $50. I'm okay with that, but you can define that limit. And if it becomes really useful, like for me, uh, in just the past 2 weeks, what I've created with Claude and my mind put together, I probably cannot imagine life without Claude. And that sounds probably stupid, but it is the way it is. So you can define all of that, and if you want to like buy bulk credits and save some money, feel free to do that. Capabilities. Now, this is important. So, search and reference chats. What does this mean? Is all your chats history that you've talked. Maybe you were talking about a marketing plan. Maybe you were analyzing a 1099 contract. Maybe you were analyzing what's the best school for your daughter. When you reference and turn this on, Claude learns from all the chats. And out of the blue, if you end up asking it any certain question that, hey, I know this, or could you give me an answer to what's the weather like tomorrow? Then Claude can know that, hey, you were looking at a school nearby or in this location for your kids, and you were asking for weather, and it'll connect when the questions and answers align. It sometimes it surprised me. It's even asked me a question when I asked something simple like, "What's the weather like today?" and it gave me a reference that I knew you were looking for this school, or I know your daughter goes to school. Do you want me to check that area as well? And that was kind of forward thinking, but I loved it. So you can turn this on, generate memory from chat history. This is again a deeper memory table that chat Claude builds for you. So for your projects, for your chats, for your conversations, whatever you've done, it'll build a memory bank on your computer. The good part I love about Claude is all of this is not going to the cloud. Everything is stays on your computer. Now you may ask, what if my computer breaks down or I gotta buy a new computer? Do I lose everything? Pretty much not, and I'll show you how. If you've been using other AI providers and you want to import your previous history or conversations, you can do an import. I have never done that because I like my tools to start from ground up and not have a bias history from other chatbots, just like we humans want to do. And tool access mode, I leave it at load tools when needed. Otherwise, it takes a lot of memory. It'll always load tools. And what I mean by tools, and I'm going to show you in a second, visuals, artifacts, AI-powered artifacts, visualizations, um, execution, network egress. I keep it all turned on because these are just basic tools that Claude need access to get your job done. Especially this is turned off by default. Network egress. What this actually means is when you ask Claude to go to a website and do something for you, uh, Claude is not allowed to do that. So it'll produce an error. So what I do is turn it on and select all domains so it can go to pretty much any website and do stuff for me. Connectors. Now, this is where the magic happens. Now we're talking game. So if you're on Google or use any Google services, Claude has the best integration with Google, so much so that it can automate the entire process. Samuel, I'll come back to you. It automate the entire process. Not so with Microsoft Outlook, and I'm really sad to say this because Microsoft blocked Claude's access as a writing agent. We can only read data from Outlook now, but it cannot create drafts for you. It cannot go into your Outlook account or email account or calendar account for that matter and create events, emails, drafts, replies for you. And that is something I have always disliked about our IT industry or the technology spaces as a whole, because companies, instead of supplementing each other with the technologies they have, they start blocking each other for monetary advantages and profits. And that's exactly what Microsoft did. OpenAI was losing a lot of stock market presence. They dipped. They've lost a lot of clients. So Microsoft's decided that instead of improving, they just kill every other AI agent. But that's what it is, and the only thing we can do is deal with it and find other options. Gmail, on the other way, is just I'm going to show you how it works. It is mind-bogglingly good. So connect your Gmail. I have connected it, but once you try to connect it for the first time, this will be like connect, as you can see on the other services. I would also like to have people who are on either Microsoft or Gmail at least connect your clients, because Microsoft, even though it's read only, Claude can do a lot of good stuff for you in there. So connect all your tools. All it requires is logging into your Gmail account and then go into configure. Now, what I have done is I've turned on always allow to most of the options uh, and drafts. I did not turn on always allow for the bottom two options, because if Claude does something funny, I need Claude to ask me first whether I allow it to do or not. But turn on the settings as I think Claude grows into the future. This is going to become safer, better, and I'm pretty sure that these permissions would become better. Claude would become better at as to what to do on your behalf or not.
Addie,
So
I'm sorry to interrupt.
please.
Hold on. Look like I somebody say if you could please zoom in the tab
Okay.
options because the font is too small.
Okay. Thank you, someone. I'm gonna make it bigger. All right. So I'm gonna keep going, but let me just give you a glance so that it's recorded. The only two options I have actually uh, uh, like actually set on needs approval is the last two, and all of these, the first four, I have given it permission to keep moving forward without my permission, and I'll show you why. Connect all your tools. Now, these are all not the only tools. If you browse connectors, you'll see, I think you will see pretty much every tool you've used in your history of profession, business, and they work pretty awesomely well. For example, a lot of people in our community use HubSpot as a CRM. A lot of people use Canva. A lot of people, some people, not all, use Figma. Um, you might use Slack. Everything is integrated. And the best thing about Claude I love is these are not third-party productions like, oh, I'm a developer, let's make something and hide something behind the code so I can steal your data. No, these are all application connections authorized, vetted by Anthropic. So they're safe, they're easy to work with, and a lot of new ones came out. I would like to just take 1 second and highlight Intuit. What you see is Credit Karma, but a couple of days ago, TurboTax came in and it killed the TurboTax stock market. It dropped it by 30% on a single day. Why is that? Because, and I have tried it. What I had done was I connected a brand new TurboTax account and I uploaded pretty much everything that I had, my bank statements, my statements from my brokerage for my stocks, uh, what else? My billing statements, all the bills I got, everything, and dumped it in a folder and asked Claude, this is my entire PDFs or data from my banks, blah, 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 from the last year. Could you do my taxes? I already have TurboTax connected. I'm not kidding when I say this. It took, by the counter, 18 minutes. It scanned everything, built out an Excel sheet for me that this is how your balance sheet looks, went into TurboTax, filled out every possible imaginable field there. And in 18 minutes, I had a ready to go tax return worthy account setup done. All I had to do was sign up to any of the tax filing services and click push. And that's what I did. This year I filed my taxes in under 30 minutes. The only time I spent was figuring out how to save on taxes, which we all do. But it was that amazing. So what I implore everyone on this call to do is find out what tools you're using, connect it, and once I show you how these tools actually work, you'll be kind of amazed how you can make them work to your advantage. Let me take a few questions. Did you hide your account numbers? So, Leah, most of the banks nowadays have started hiding your account numbers except the last four digits. Some of my statements had my actual address and my account number. All I did was open them and kind of put something on top of that. However, let me say this, and I might feel like a fanboy, but we've trusted our data with the likes of Microsoft, Google, and pretty much everyone who's been scanning our data, our email attachments for years now. We even store our passwords with them. We store our social security numbers with them. I don't think Claude is going to be any different because if we can trust one technology provider with the most sensitive data, and here in Claude, everything stays on your computer, it is kind of just a matter of choosing whether you trust someone or not. And a funny thing happened a couple of weeks ago. I was talking to someone and he was asking me, like, I don't trust any of the AI because they're stealing my data. And I didn't have to answer him because the person standing next to him said, "Oh, but you would trust your entire financial life with the government, but you would not trust it with an AI agent, which is probably going to do you less harm." And I said, "Okay, okay, we're not getting into that, but it is just a matter of where you get the best output without leveraging least of your data." I use Outlook for business and Zero for accounting. Unfortunately, they do not have connectors. What are your thoughts on third-party connectors? So, Zero, I can tell you it's coming for Claude. They put out a beta, but they pulled it back because I think it was broken. But that is coming. Outlook for business does not have a connector, but still, you can read emails, compose replies, save it within your chat, and just copy, paste, and reply for now. Quite frankly, the way industry progresses, I think Microsoft will give in because their Copilot is a massive failure. So eventually they will come in, but it's just a matter of time. Would you suggest two separate accounts for Jeremy? Absolutely. Claude gets personalized to your business, to your personality. It even learns the way you talk, and I'm going to quickly show you how. And I implore everyone to have separate accounts for family members, business owners, team members, so that it knows you rather than just knowing one side of you. I use HubSpot Connect to push emails out. If I use, will that work? Yes, that will work. Um, Claude can go in and compose emails for you. And to all of this, things that do not have connectors, I'm going to show you how Claude can still work for you. So give me a moment. Let me just finish the settings thing. It's going to be amazing. Claude Code, I simply ask you to ignore everything that you see in here because we're not coding today. And it is a totally different point of topic. If you all want, I can hold another class for this. Cowork, this is important. Let's turn on dispatch and global instructions. I leave it as it is because I am lazy. I am super lazy. I do not want to type all of this. I don't care. I want Claude to build all of this for me. Claude and Chrome. Now, this is where the magic happens. Please pay close attention. Default for all sites, I will turn it allow, and I would not block any sites. And I'm going to show you how this works with Chrome and the connectors you do not have. To Anita's question, this will allow Claude to work with pretty much anything that does not have an inbuilt connector. And sometimes, even if you do have a connector, you might feel, oh, it can only do so much because, for example, as zero, I only allow Claude to come in, read stuff, or write a few things, but not create entirely new uh, an account block for me or an entirely new company for me. We can still do that, and I'll show you how. I don't have Claude in Chrome. Paninga, do you mean you don't have this option at all?
Yeah.
Okay, let's figure that out. Um, General, run on startup. I keep it turned on unless you have a dedicated computer that Claude runs on. In that case, I will turn it on. Keep my computer awake. If you turn this on, your computer never goes to sleep. Again, I keep it on because I have a dedicated computer that runs Claude 24/7. Allow browser actions. I keep it turned off primarily for the reason that when Claude is working for me on a browser, it doesn't do things on its own without taking my permission, because sometimes that becomes detrimental to what I'm trying to do. Like one time, not this time, but one time in January when I was trying this, it went into one of my accounts in Notion and tried to delete everything. Um, with the idea, it was trying to do good that I will delete everything and create a brand new table, which is much more refined. But I didn't want to do that without my permission. Computer use, turn it on. Unhide apps when Claude finishes. I do it because I just want to focus on something, but doesn't matter. Denied apps. If you come across an app that you might feel is stealing data, I know of no one right now, but you can add that app here and block it. You have options that shown up. I'm not seeing. What are the options you guys are not able to see?
Addie, there's been a couple through the each of the topics of settings that you're going through.
Hmm.
I can't remember the ones from the beginning, but you have options that I'm not seeing, and I have my desktop version pulled up for settings. I'm not in the web browser version. Um,
I know why. It is, I think probably because of Zoom, because it cuts out the bottom. I think you should be good now. Can you see everything now?
Let me see. So you're in general, right?
Yep.
I just have my Claude desktop pulled up, and as I'm scrolling down these options, the only the option I see in general is run on startup, and I click that one.
Hmm.
But the other things that you are scrolling down on, like my window popped up for desktop, so I'm in the right place, but it's just not
Sure now.
showing some of the options. So I'm not sure if that's how it looks for others who are
Are
having the
you
same
on
problem.
the latest app?
I believe so. I mean, I downloaded Claude not too long ago.
It should be 1.3109.
Let me see. How do I find what version I have?
Just click About Claude and you will see all the version that you currently have. If not, you might probably just need to update.
Okay,
Does it matter if it's a paid version? Because I'm seeing everything that Addie has. Does that matter, Addie, if it's the paid version?
I
let's
You
see.
might be right because
Yeah.
yesterday a huge update came out from Claude, and I haven't frankly tested all of it. So it might be that they disabled some things on the free version, but I will dive into that and figure out. But so far as I know, I'm on the paid one, and if you're not seeing any option on your free version, it could be that. But let me just check why. But it does help if you go in and check the version that you have. All right. So let me move on. And again, as whatever problems or issues we face, I'll keep addressing them as we go. Now, now that we've learned how to install Claude and pretty much knock off most of the important things on the first go, I want to show you or talk about how to make sure your AI agent doesn't sound like a fridge manual. And this is a one-time setup. And once you're done with this, trust me, the outputs, I've gotten a lot of complaints from my team that it gets 80% there, but then it falls apart or falls short of what I'm visualizing. So let me take you back and show you how to do that. First thing, what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up a web browser and I'm going to fire up Chrome because if something happens for any reason, Claude cannot access um, a website, it is blocked. Some of the websites have started blocking AI agents for security, which I agree, it's fine, including ours. Excite Capital is blocked for AI agents. So if that happens, Claude will figure it out. But here's what you do without going into settings and writing codes and setting up your persona. I would do, I want you, and this is fresh when you've set up Claude for the first time. I want you to study and learn everything about me and my brand from the following websites and documents. Now, I'm not uploading any documents, but if you have your presentations done, which you really like, if you have written books, if you have done anything which has text in it, videos in it, photos in it, feel free to upload it here because it scans everything and knows more about you. Right now, for the sake of time, I'm just going to do websites, but even then, it just blows my mind every single time. So I want you to learn about me and my brand from the following websites and then create. Oh my God, I'm bad at typing. And then create a skill and brand setup for me. I want to use what you learn about me in all our future communications and projects. All right. And what I'm going to do is simply, so let's do all the things that we do, right? At Excite Capital, learn beyond 925club.com. And let's also put in the AI masterclass, right? Now, because I'm lazy, I will not type the whole thing. I will pull up the link and open it here. But this is the link. So what I'm going to do is essentially paste Excite Capital, paste the club, and put in anything that your business does. Your website, as I said, documents, whatever it can learn from, put it there, and just type this prompt and click go. Now, here's the interesting part. I know it'll turn up an error that I cannot access Excite Capital because, of course, we blocked it for bots for now. But just see the magic. Let's give it a moment. And I tell everyone when it's working, when it's thinking, there'll be a like a double upside down arrow. Uh, Click on that. So it shows you the thinking process. So now it is asking me which brand identity should I prioritize. So it has figured out I'm talking about three different brands, unified, separate profiles for each, personal brand first, business second. Now, ideally, I use personal brand first and business second, but when you're working with multiple identities, I do a unified profile because then it learns deeper on how Addy talks, how Excite Capital's brand messaging talks, and make sure every message going out kind of averages all three. So let's do unified profile. What kind of contents would you often ask me to do? Emails, social media posts, long form, marketing assets. Hey, I had more options. I would do that. I would also put websites and what? Let's do websites for now. How thorough should the brand setup be? Full guidelines, custom skills, way to go. I would not choose anything else because then it builds a really amazing and well done profile, and that is it. Now it's what I was saying is when it's thinking, just keep like when you see this uh, drop down the bar so you can see what it's doing. Sometimes it goes into deep thinking, and that deep thinking actually tells you how Claude is thinking. And it's really amazing to see that Claude questioned Claude himself or itself and trying to figure out the best possible outcome for you. Now it's going to all the websites and trying to fetch URLs. See, Excite Capital blocked the fetch. Let me try alternative endpoints and subpages. Now, if you see failed, 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 because I know, because I control the security, everything is blocked. But instead of unblocking it, uh, I would let Claude figure out how to still learn from it. So give it a moment, let it think. It is it is now figured out that these are all the Excite Capital pages I want to learn from. There's even one Excite Capital page on Zoom Info that it can learn from. It has scoured the internet for wherever Excite Capital lives, what are the pages, and it is building the skill. So whenever you see skill.md, it is building a skill set file for you on your computer. Now, it wants me to run a background command. I will allow it. What it does is it'll try and find alternative ways to access things it cannot. And I pretty much tried and tested all of this. There's no security risk on that. When things like that comes up, basically it's essentially writing your persona on Claude. So uh, let's uh, let it work for another couple of minutes, and then now when you see this Claude MD, Skill MD, again, it's just building your files. So let's let it work for the next couple of minutes, and then I'll show you what it can do for us. So now you see it's writing brand guidelines.md. It has researched everything about you, about your brand, and it's writing a brand guideline. And what I've observed is the way your website is built, the way, not just your website, like all the data you provided, even if you provided books, ebooks, newsletters that you've written, and you uploaded it, it'll scan everything and it'll build a guideline that this is how your brand operates and this is how you as a person operates. So if you ask it to produce something, hey, could you do something for Excite Capital or the Brain Trust or Beyond 95 Club or any of your brands, it'll know you're talking about a business. But when you say, hey, I want to become a thought leader in some space, or I want to write an ebook from me, from Addie, from Fedna, from Ida, from Leslie, then it'll know that, okay, it is personal. So it'll use your writing tone and style. Now, if you give it another, I think, couple of minutes, it'll finish writing up your guidelines. This process takes some time in the beginning, but then it saves you a lot of time and tokens for Claude going forward. Okay, while it happens, I'm going to answer a few questions. Due to data privacy issues, I tend to use DuckDuckGo and not Chrome. Can Claude integrate with DuckDuckGo and provide the info I need? Okay, so that's a great question. Thank you, Arthur. DuckDuckGo doesn't work directly with Claude as of yet. There was a plugin, but I didn't like it. But here's the thing about privacy. When using Claude and Chrome, Claude is only going to do things in Chrome which you ask it to. It's not going to wander off and start exploring and sharing your data. So say there's not a connector for a certain website, and we're coming to that next. It'll go in, open that website for you, have you log in, and once you're logged in, do a lot of things that it can do for you. So I have not ran into an issue where I felt that Claude is uploading unnecessary data to the cloud. And how I measure that security is right here in my office. I got a whole stack of security patches and network servers installed, which monitor each bit of data that goes out of my office. And if something I feel is looking off or going to a place I didn't want it to, I get notified. So if that answered your question, you would need Chrome to work with Claude. Since I'll be uploading my dog projects, how safe is my information? Claude does not sell to third parties, at least the agreement says so. And most of what is built in, if you see this Claude MD instruction file set, it is local to your computer. It is not uploading. And I'll show you why it is local. So Claude has 3 work modes. And once I finish building the brand, I'm going to show you that. And then you'll know what mode to use when you want to work on the cloud and what mode to use when you want to keep your data private. And then I'm asking, as we had issues with Cambridge Analytica a while back, if you could elaborate what kind of issues you have or had, I am going to probably talk about that. Uh, Anita is asking, I cannot see cowork. Anita, do you have a paid subscription?
No, I have a paid subscription. I actually have connectors that I use with like
Okay.
Notebook and others, but for some reason I can't get to cowork.
So I think just update because there was a major update yesterday. If nothing happens, just uninstall and reinstall Claude because I ran into the same issue yesterday night. All I had to do was uninstall and reinstall because yesterday night's update was huge. So I think they will fix it eventually. But if you still don't see Cowork, I would suggest logging out first, logging back, or then reinstalling. I would, yes, please, Leah, go ahead and cancel ChatGPT to answer people's questions about security. ChatGPT is uploading everything and selling it to the masses because it is run by corporations which thrive on data farming and making money off your data. If any application is not available in connectors, can we integrate new ones by ourselves? For instance, Angel One. Yes, you can, as long as the provider gives you APIs to that software or technology piece that you're using. Claude can actually help you build an API connector. It's not really easy, but for the most part, it'll do just fine. But to answer your question, yes. And I can hold a separate session because it's a longer session if you want to learn about building APIs. Claude for trading, I have tried that. Put in $100 and try it. And the way it'll work for now without building an API is Claude access your web browser, sees the charts when you're logged into your account. But I would never give any AI access to a full set of my money because I don't trust it that much yet. But yes, you can give it a try, and it was not bad. If you took all our ChatGPT to Claude, uh, we should go back and turn that off. Correct? Yes, please. All right. So now it is done. What I created, Addy brand skill, that is my personal brand. Brand guidelines, that is my country brand, company brand. Before, after examples. So cold out. So what it does, what it has done is studied um, how we interact on social media, how we post, including our websites. Then it's built a skill set for all of these that it's going to use and open questions I flagged. So all the sources and then all the files it builds, it'll show you where it put it. You can take a backup. Usually what I do is I run Claude off, like I set a working folder, and we're going to get to that next, where everything I do with Claude gets backed up either to my Google Drive, OneDrive, or iCloud. So now that we built our skill set, we're 1 hour into it. Let's start actually producing stuff. I think we're right on time. Will it examine our personal social media sites? Yes, I'm going to show you guys how. Will it scan or connect to LinkedIn too? So LinkedIn blocks any bots coming in, but I found a way out, and Claude is amazing in that. So I'll show you that as well. And that is, I think, the LinkedIn strategy is part of today's session or the next one. I'm not sure, but I'll show you definitely. Okay, so now that your brand skills, everything is set up, let's do some work. So I think let me go back and see. So we've connected our tools, and let's start with emails because that's, I think, the biggest pain point business owners or professionals face every day. 20 million emails in the inbox, no time to reply, and Claude can come in really handy on that. So Outlook, if you're using Outlook, it can create draft replies for you, but Gmail is where's the magic at, and that is actually making me think about a lot of things, how we use technology. But let's do it. So now that we've connected, I have my Gmail connected, my calendar connected, and my Google Drive connected. So I would say, can you go into my inbox? And I don't even need to say Gmail. Can you go to my inbox and scan my sent items and learn how I usually respond? All right. So what it's going to do is connect to my Gmail, go into my sent items, and scan all the emails I've sent in the past. Now, why this is important is sometimes people come in and ask you, "Hey, you have a session coming next week. Can I get the link to that? Or how did it go today in your meeting?" And what AI does is it'll create a obnoxiously long reply. "Hey, the weather's looking good today. I am so glad you reached out." No one responds like that. This is going to teach Claude that don't do that. Simple as that. Just don't do that. So it is asking me currently 30 days, 90 days, 6 months. I don't care. This is a test account. I'll scan everything. But even then, doesn't matter. Scan any and everything that you've seen, you've sent out. And then what send email should I focus on? I would say everything again. And should I produce in the end? Short summary, saved style profile. I don't need the summary. Or in fact, let's do both, just so we know what it has done. Now, this will teach one thing and one thing only, email reply skills. And it is just amazing how it learns. And one more thing I'm going to show you, because most of us are business owners, we have events, we have links to share, we have meeting links to share. And by the way, yesterday Zoom came into Claude as well. And now Claude is able to directly analyze your Zoom recordings and produce what you ask it to do. So it can go in to your Zoom transcript or your video and analyze a lot of stuff. How did I do? Can I improve better on my Zoom calls? Stuff like that. So I haven't tested it yet. Came out last night, but I will make sure I cover that in the next session. All right, so it is scanning everything. Now, just to be clear, this is a test account I created for today, not to share specific and sensitive information from my work or personal account, but I've tested it, it still works really good. Once this is done, I'm going to do just one more thing to train our emails better. And that way it'll have a memory of all the links, meeting links, event links, so that if someone replies, "Hey, can I get a link to this class next or this meeting next week?" it'll know and save a draft with the link in your outbox, in your drafts. So all you got to do is get up in the morning and click send, send, edit, send, and you're pretty much done. But while we do that, I'm going to do one more thing. And let me see if I am logged into, no, I'm not logged into the right account because I'm on Chrome. Let me open a new window. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the Gmail account that I have connected it to. If anyone would like to live test it, once this is done, I'll post my email on the chat. So if you would like to test it, just send me an email when I say asking for something, and we'll see how the draft works out. Now it has learned everything, and here's the interesting part: sign-offs our best Addie, thanks for your help, Addie, or just Addie. It has learned how I respond to people either by saying hi or hello. It has also learned that this is my side account. Oh, this is scary because I never put in capital except capital.com here, but it has picked it out and it has built a style, kind of email profile for me. Uh, and now when it replies or creates drafts for you, it's going to make sure it kind of sticks to this. If someone wants to send me drop an email, I will welcome it. If not, just let me know. I'll send one to myself. And let me see where I minimize the inbox. That is not my inbox. Okay, here we go. Okay, so while we wait, I'm going to do something. I'm going to send an email to myself just in case from my professional business account. Hi there. I want to know if there is, let me bring this window here so y'all can see if there is an upcoming master class for the AI workshop. And I'm just, thanks. That's it. All right. Fedna's send an email. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to create a scheduler because every time you want to do this, you don't want to go in and say, check my emails and create drafts. No, that is not what we're going to do. We're going to go into scheduled. I've already created one for test, but I'll show you how. We'll go into new task and we could do a daily briefing. We could do email drafts. We could do, hey, brief me about my entire day. It'll pull up your calendars, emails, meetings, and kind of send you a brief, but we're doing email. So I would say create email drafts for me. And I usually end up giving the same instruction in the description, doesn't matter. Now, what do you want it to do? So I would say um, go into my inbox and scan for all new emails, overdue replies, and create draft replies for me, but sorry, for me and save them in drafts. Do not send out any email. And that is it. Frequency. Now here's where you set up how often do you want it to check your inbox. I send it to hourly, click save, and you have an hourly session running where it keeps checking on your emails. Now, I'm not going to wait for another hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there. Once it runs, you'll have a chat session, which you never need to worry about, but it'll still have. I am going to do I'm going to manually run it. So I'm going to say, can you go into my inbox and create replies for all new emails? Now, the best part about this is since it's a connector, it's not going to open your web browser, consume massive credits. It's just going to go in the back end, check your inbox, save the replies, and it has found 300 emails. Uh, and it gives a snapshot. So that's why I was saying if you click the drop down and learn or see how it is performing uh, or what is thinking, it just gives you a good insight. So there's an email from here about upcoming masterclass, draft created with direct masterclass link. So you remember we scanned our website in the beginning, so it found out there's a link to register for that. Then for Fedna, it's created a draft with a helpful response. And here's the best part. It figured out Buffalo Jeans is promotional, does not need a reply. So it did not go in and say, I would love to buy your jeans. But now let's go into drafts. Here's the reply. So let's look at the first one. Hey, Addie, absolutely. We have an AI master class. This is the link. Check it out. Sign up. Let me know if you have questions. And I'm not kidding when I say this. This is mostly how I reply. Like I end my emails with, let me know if you have questions. And people who work with me, interact with me, know like it matches my tone. I am just ready to send it. Let's see what it did for Fedna. Thanks for reaching out. The paid version does have the additional features that work great on Surface Pro. Happy to discuss which plan would work best for your needs. I haven't seen what Fedna sent me because that's an interesting reply. Uh, Paid version, I'm not seeing features on my okay, so it did give a did produce a reply that's worth sending out, and I might add a few things. But here's the funny part, or actually the meaningful part, is that as you keep going in this direction, and as it keeps replying for you, it knows more about you. It keeps refining. It keeps uh, tuning its responses. But for my personal inbox, because my professional inbox is in Outlook, I have tried this for the past 2 months. Every morning, every possible imaginable reply that it has drafted for me is 99% accurate. There's sometimes it misses out a link, like if someone asks me something out of the blue, which it did not have information on. But most of the replies have been pretty decent and accurate. If there is financial approval, uh, okay. Uh, okay. So if there's a financial approval required, it does not go ahead and approve it. First of all, you're creating drafts. Secondly, just like we train the outcome, you can just give an instruction. Whenever you create a draft for me, please save it in your skills. Never approve anything. Although it never has done, because I've received emails um, from the vendors I work with that, hey, your payment is upcoming. Would you like to go ahead and process it? It has never replied and said, yeah, go ahead and process it. On the drafts, what I've seen in the past, it'll put out something that I'm still looking at the your previous communication and I will get back to you. So if you accidentally send it over, it will never be an approval. I think it is learn and become good at that. So now that we have this email thing sorted out and you keep learning from it, Claude keeps learning from it and growing from it, you can schedule pretty much anything with a connector that you have. So if you go in here, you can select what you want to do. The model I usually leave it at default because it picks the best model for your connector. But since all your applications are connected in the background, you don't need to define it here. You can just say every morning, go and do this for me. I have tried calendars where I've said, give me a daily brief of all my upcoming meetings. Um, and give me a summary of my entire day, including email replies to be sent out, including calendars, meetings, and pretty much anything else I wanted, which can be fetched from the Google connector or any other connectors. Another thing I've tried is once you connect Google Drive to Claude, you do not need to search for files anymore. And that becomes a pain when you're when it is ballooned beyond a certain number of files, sorry, and you have thousands of files in your inbox, and one day you want to know, oh, I want to get the logo, but I don't know where it saved it. Just go to Claude and ask, can you produce the logo file on my Google Drive? And it'll put you right there or give you a direct link to that. So productivity, when it comes to us business owners doing day-to-day tasks, once you've made the connection, it can save you a lot of time. And as you become better users, like you know what can Claude do for you, I'm pretty sure you will lean more towards Claude than actually going into a different set of applications, opening tabs and going to other applications and trying to get that done for you. It'll come by practice. It is not after this class, you know everything. But what I urge you all to do is when you're doing the next set of things, like You're fetching files, you're fetching links, you're fetching this, you're fetching that, or you're replying or talking or want to create an ebook or anything. Try Claude first. It learns, and then you also know this is the limit. This is what I can do on Claude. Now, this is what daily is. Now, a lot of people who joined us today have go through a lot of other processes during the day, which is research, analysis, finding about your clients, finding trends or analyzing trends, pressure testing deals, doing sniff tests. There's so much that you can do within Claude and within the three different ways you can use Claude. So I'm going to take you through this really quick. So on top of here, most people who are not aware, you will see three options: chat, co-work, and code. Code we're going to skip entirely for today. It is primarily for coding web applications, websites, and mobile applications. And it's a whole nother topic. It is not as simple as it seems, but for someone from a developer background or a tech background, it is probably godsend and the easiest thing that has come to them in the recent past few years. But chat is what we've been used to. Chatbots. We ask a question and it delivers, and it lives in the cloud. So anything you do in chat is going to go up to the cloud, to Cloud Server. However, Cloud Server says, Cloud's agreement says, we might or might not use your data to train. So I think that essentially says we are going to use your data to train, because there's no might not. It's a for-profit company. So anything you
Don't talk you
do,
to death.
sorry, let me mute people. All right. So anything you do here, uh, please do not use your personal data. Please do not use or upload. Uh, oh, sorry. I am so sorry. Let me go back. And let me just zoom in a bit. All right. So as I said, for people who missed out, the first option is chat, which lives in the cloud, and everything and anything you do goes to the cloud. It's not going to be sold to someone, but it is definitely going to be analyzed for making the AI or the language model better. So I usually only use chat on my phone when I'm working or away from my computer. I don't use chat at all, but it really helps using it on the phone when you're basically researching stuff. You're finding answers to your questions. You're finding data about competitors, or even doing a research on your own brand, because that's already public knowledge. And I don't mind AI analyzing that to make itself better. The only thing I do not like, or I absolutely do not want to happen, is getting financial data out there, my customer data out there, or sensitive personal information out there. Now, the next tab you will see is co-work, which we've been working on all along. When you create a new task or any project or anything at all, where you're going to end up producing something meaningful, worthwhile. It could be a presentation. Please set the first thing you should do is set a project folder. Now, what I like to do is on my iCloud drive, I have a dedicated folder. So what we're going to do is, uh, I think I created this morning in demo. So I have a dedicated folder for today, which is demo, but you can name it anything: Cloud projects, my projects, and whatever you might want to call it. And then create a folder inside of that for each project. So Claude projects would be your primary folder, which holds everything Claude has, you're going to ask Claude to do for you. But each project, like if you're working on an ebook, create an ebook folder. If you're working on a website, create a website folder. If you're working on social media posts or LinkedIn research, create a folder for that. And when you do a new task, say work inside a project, choose a folder, and I'm going to now go in and choose the folder I created for today. So today's folder, funnily enough, what are you talking about? because I don't know what I'm talking about, but Claude knows what I'm talking about. So uh, once you attach it, anything that it produces, it could be a Word document, PowerPoint presentation, uh, whatever, Excel file or a website or JPEG images for your social media posts is going to save in there. And why I talked about using an iCloud, Google Drive, or provider like that is because if your primary folder lives on a synced backed up folder, you never lose your projects. Everything goes back to the cloud. You can use another computer to still work on that if you've connected Claude and that Word folder in the other machine. Claude will know how to work on it. So please do me a favor when you set up Claude, do not work off random folders. I'm pretty sure all of us have some cloud access to storage. Use Google Drive, iCloud, OneDrive, Box, whatever. Just sync it and you'll be the happiest person because sometimes the outputs you get from Claude are so goddamn amazing that losing them hurts, really hurts. Now, uh, let's talk about data analysis. So there's a few ways we we uh, we interact with data, analyze data. I'm going to touch a few topics for the brevity of time. The first one is, I think, the most important to most of the people because every single day we get into contracts. It could be a 1099 contract, it could be a hospital contract, it could be a business contract, whatever. Claude has become so good at legal jargon, legal analysis that, believe it or not, one of the top law firms in New York uh, is using Claude to do the work of 20 paralegals with just one Claude machine. And those paralegals now have the chance, some took the offer and gave their exams for becoming an attorney, and others left the company. But it has got so good at that that it can actually analyze contracts. Why I'm doing that first is because that'll show you how uh, Claude's analysis skills are. So yesterday, I did not have a lot of contracts with me, which he would use. So I searched the internet and got access to a 1099 contract. Let me just figure out where that is. Okay, so this is an independent contractor agreement. I just pasted here. And this could be any other contract because when you look at a business contract or employee contract or professional contract, the output of the or the goal, your goal as the person trying to analyze or read through that is the same. Are there any red flags? Are there things I need to watch out for as a potential employer or a professional getting into that contract? What are the things I can question or improve on this that'll better my stake in that position or contract? So I'm going to ask simple thing. It's a simple 1099 contractual agreement. And I'm going to ask, can you analyze the attached 1099 contract and tell me what are the biggest red flags? Oh my God. All right. Biggest red flags, comma, what does not work in my favor, and anything else. I always end my prompts with giving Claude an open mind or open option to explore because as humans, we get biased or we kind of um, we have a restricted thinking process, uh, and more so while we're writing. We can dream about a lot of things when we're driving or listening to music, but when we actually sit down to write things, we kind of become focused on the outcome and forget what we could ask outside of those confines. So I always end it by letting Claude tell me, here's things you missed out on. Anything else I might have missed? Simple prompt, nothing technical to it, nothing elaborate. And I like to use simple prompts because uh, you might have all seen, while it analyzes, I'm going to touch upon a point. We all have seen a lot of social media influencers say, Claude, act like you're the Fortune 500 marketing, a CMO of a Fortune 500 company, and go and do this for me, or act like you're a CEO of this company and now you're creating a business plan for your team and do this for me. What I've realized is when you Claude to act like someone, first of all, it dismisses who you are and what your brand is in the thinking process. And then secondly, you've just put Claude in a confined space within a room that just think like a CEO does. Don't put your mind to it. You're the CEO of Pepsi, just put your mind, do not steer. And then you get bad results because you've essentially took a $1 trillion data set and said only work within that small 500,000 bits of data set that you had. Don't do that. Just talk like a human would, and it is beautiful with what it produces. So simple prompt, it gave me long answers. So biggest red flags, unlimited one-way indemnification. And then it explains why. Broad IP assessment, assignment plus name, likeness rights. Vague payment terms with no teeth. One-way confidentiality. Things that don't work in your favor. You eat all the expenses, termination, California venue in law, insurance requirements, assignments, symmetry, independent contractor checklist. It keeps going on. Now, I'm not saying everything it produces is what you need to fight your potential employer or contractor for, but it makes you a better negotiator because there are things on this that you might feel, I never thought of that. Maybe how about we talk to them and kind of find a middle ground. Um, how about we entirely scrap this because hell no, it doesn't fit my lifestyle. I'm not going to work on that. Um, and then it even goes down to your state level because now I know I live. Now Claude knows I live in Charlotte, and I operate within 3 or 4 states where we work with assets. I work with my team members, so it'll automatically analyze what is relevant to me, if at all, within my state of living or state of work. And then I'll give you some suggestions. uh, Check this. This is the bottom line. I would not sign without this. Again, the decision making is us. We need to move the atoms, as I said, but the moving pixel things it has taken care of. And we decide what's best for us in moving. Now, before I go into the next segment, which is research about our clients and competitors, spotting trends, I want to just take 1 minute to show how it actually works in real. So we had a vendor, nothing big, a bottled water supplier when we used to live in our old home, and we canceled our contract about 6 months ago. They took the final payment, everything was settled. 2 months later, I realized they billed me for stuff that they took back from me about 3 years ago when we started. Uh, I'm not saying they were wrong, but what potentially happened is another company took them over and they realized, oh, let's take an inventory. And they find that, oh, this is missing from this client. And they started sending out notices. And that was, I called them a few times, reached out to tech support, no help. So what I did was I took their communication, took my communication, fed it into Claude and asked Claude, can you go in and build me uh, an legal reply to this? It came up with a 14-page reply with all North Carolina laws in place, with references to those laws and how and why the company is wrong. You send them that letter, which I did, and that was it. They deleted the account. They never came back to me. Similarly, last year we got into, as a business, we got into an argument or disagreement with one of our vendors, marketing vendors, whom we used to pay $20,000 a year. And without even our approval, they upped the price to 30,000 and they try to bill us for that 10,000. And I asked Claude, this is my history. This is the contract we signed for them. Help me create a reply. And it picked out every nuance in that contract. All that I did was copy paste, send it to them, never heard from them. So use it to your advantage. The legal setup within Claude is really amazing. Please do not go out and hire attorneys for small things. And even if you end up doing that, because we'll need attorneys at some point, be better prepared. Okay, let's start another co-work session where we'll work on analyzing. So again, uh, as I start new sessions, I'm going to choose a different folder this time, but within the working folder, as I said, demo. Now I'm going to call it uh, research. And you can call it whatever research you're doing, but research, open, always allowed. All right, so most of us professionals, I can take a guess. A lot of us joining us today are CRNAs, multifamily owners of a multifamily company or syndicator. A lot of professionals, and we interact with the world in a lot of ways. We want to find out what others are doing so that we can be better than them. What our competitors doing. So. Uh, let's try this. So I want to know what my I'm not going to even define. Let's try that. I'm not going to define what I do because it already should know about it. I want to know what my competitors are doing online, and are they succeeding on their social media outreach. And I'm keeping it purposefully really simple because all of us are not from the marketing background. So we might ask something really simple, but I expect to get a good answer on that. So, and they're succeeding on and if, okay, let me add this. And if they're succeeding on their social media outreach programs, especially on LinkedIn. If you want to access LinkedIn, I have mine logged into Chrome. Okay, pay attention to the last line. Since Claude cannot access LinkedIn directly, we have to give it access. And then Claude can go into LinkedIn and see what's going on. And the best part, LinkedIn doesn't know it's Claude because it's a bot. So what I'm going to do is sign out and log into my account. Okay, let me just sign out another window. Sign in using another account. All right, here we go. So this is my account. And the reason I logged in is not because I wanted to first analyze my account, but it has access to LinkedIn. So it can open LinkedIn without restrictions and start looking for stuff. Now, this is the first time I'm trying that live. I did not define what it wants uh, uh, me to look for. I'm guessing um, it should figure that out on its own. What competitors do you want me to research? You figure it out. I don't have the time to figure that out. What do you want to learn about their LinkedIn presence? Okay, let's do content strategy and engagement, and also do audience growth, and also do messaging. What do you want to written report in? I don't like docx. Okay, just for the sake of today, let's do Excel sheet because Claude's really good at Excel. So I would love to see what it builds for me. And you remember we connected Claude, we turned on Claude in Chrome. So Claude has access to my Chrome browser. And if it needs to go into my LinkedIn and figure out data, we'll see live. So take a look at the progress. What it's going to do is figure it out, research, Excite Capital's business focus. I didn't tell it that, it knew. Identify 4 to 5 competitors because I asked it, you figure it out. Gather LinkedIn data per competitor, you figure it out. Build a comparison spreadsheet, you figure it out. And verify and summarize. I am I'm excited to what it produces. Um, and just from what I've tried before, uh, it, it 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 produces really amazing results. Now, I found what I need on Excite. They're multifamily real estate company, blah blah blah. Competitor. I did not tell Claude what are the competitors. Viking, Ashcroft, Rise 48, Good Egg, BAM Capital. Now it's asking me to go to their LinkedIn profile. Now, this is where the next week's magic also comes in, where we're going to work on someone's specific profile. And if you're willing to have me or have Claude analyze your profile, please drop it in the chat. I will make that a part of our next presentation and actually do a deep dive on your profiles where we can improve and how our competitors doing it. Cool. Oh my God, so many takers. Thanks, Leah. Thanks, Samuel. Thanks, Peninga. Would love to do that. All right. Excite Capital's baseline, followers, employees. Now it's working on the computer. This is something which always amazes me because it actually browses LinkedIn behind the scenes, and you'll know when. So now to Viking Capital, direct physician focused competitor. It also analyzed the primary focus of Excite Capital and a direct competitor in that space, not just multifamily, but our target audience. So when you see things like that, taking screenshots, what it's doing is going into LinkedIn, and I'll open that tab so we all can see. It has gone into LinkedIn. It is browsing LinkedIn. It is searching for pages for Viking Capital, and it is trying to figure out if it runs into a problem, it'll browse back and figure out what the competitor is doing. This alone, the ability to have Claude go into a web browser and do things, is helped me override a lot of that connector issues. A lot of companies who block their data behind passwords. If I have the password, pretty much Claude can scrape everything inside of the website and give me a summary. I'm gonna let this complete because this is, I think, this itself would cover most of the problems that entrepreneurs, business owners face today, which is collection of data, data analysis, and then have a meaningful output how to work on that data. Data is useless if we do not know how to use it. Okay, so it's finished Viking Capital. It says 4457 followers, low engagement, newsletter heavy. Let me move on to Ashcroft Capital. So while this is happening, thank you for people who opted in. I think so far I have 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. I'm gonna try and do my best. That I'll of course give you the prompts, but I'm gonna try and do my best to include everyone in that analysis and provide you with the reports. Learn some plugins for testing, development extra. Could you please explain how to be? Okay. Uh, Plugins for testing development. Yes. So those are into Claude Code. So if you start developing on, I'm not going to switch now, but if you hover over to Claude Code and you start developing your code, it has got a built-in verification tool, testing tool, analysis tool. All you got to do is prompt it. Could you go verify what you built for me? And that tool kicks in. And based off industry standard, it'll verify your code, what it has produced, and correct itself. However, Claude is Claude, and no matter how much people call me GPT, sometimes I feel if I produce something, I'm proud of it, and if someone says, "Oh, this is not good," I don't feel like good about it. Like I spent so many hours, and you're saying it's not good, and I realize that's the same sentiment with AIs as well. If they spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes building something for you, and you come out and say, "Hey, could you have done this better?" You might not always get the right answer. So what I figured out is use a competitor AI. And for that, Gemini has a code verification tool, which you can ask to connect to Claude and go and verify code for you. Um, Having said that, Claude and Gemini, in terms of verification analysis, has has been on par. But as we go forward, we'll know more. But to your point, yes, it's built in into Claude Code. All right. Raymond, Deepak, Claude, Eric, uh, Deepak Sharma, Desmond, Anita, Leah, Samuel, Peninga. Oh my God. Okay, cool. Okay, I would while talking, I would just like to thank Dr. Eric Biker for coming in today. He's one person at my daughter's school that I really respect, and Dr. Biker, if I can produce any or bring any value from this session to the school or to anyone else, if I can contribute in any way, please do not hesitate to reach out. All right, cool. Ashcroft. Rise 48 is the most active so far. Good Egg is tiny, and it's going to now produce the Excel sheet. Now, this is the part I love as someone from marketing and technology. I love to uh, I love to work with data, and I love to base my assumptions or thinking on data. And the way Claude has helped me do that is um, the Excel sheets or the data that it produces is meaningful. It's not gonna put in numbers and say do what you will with it. Usually, it produces data which is actionable from the start. So, guidance, what to do with that data. And sometimes I feel like, oh, I didn't know about this. Cool. So let's see what it does. I think if at all anything you guys take from this session, besides automating daily task, emails, Excel sheets, PowerPoints, whatnot, this alone, the ability to analyze your business, others' business, stay ahead of the game, without doing anything. Like I just wrote 3 lines. It is doing the heavy work for me, and getting an actionable insight is just amazing. How it leans into the last part of our segment today. We are at 11:46. I know we're just 15 minutes away. I should have scheduled this session for maybe 3 hours because this is so amazing. But I would like to cover what I discovered today with Claude Design. And what I'll do is, if we cannot cover all of it today, I'll save some part for next week. But Claude Design, which came out yesterday, is gonna shatter the boundaries of what we as humans can do when it comes to producing media assets. Um, Whether it's marketing, whether it's branding, whether it's awareness, whether it's documentation, instructional videos, voice driven podcasts. It is so mind boggling that when it was announced yesterday morning at I think 8:30, When the stock market opened, Figma Canva's stock value dropped by 36% within the first 10 minutes of stock market open. And I thought it was just BS, like who cares? But when I was working on Claude last night, and Leslie got so excited, he texted me at 9 p.m. that this is that something came up today. I thought I'll reserve my comments until I've tested out. And I built something within, I think I spent 15 minutes on it, and I built something. I'm going to show you what I built, how easy it is, because it requires zero technical skills. Uh, and the things that it created would have taken a designer, I know from a design background, uh, probably days and weeks to get close to what it has done. So we'll do that next, but let's see. Okay, so it has done the spreadsheet. And here's the reason why I said always sync it to your iCloud, because when it produces results, you can go into the folder and you'll see that it's working within that folder I assigned it to. Let's see what the Excel sheet looks like. So as I said, it does not, let me zoom in a bit because this is, okay, I hope y'all can see. In fact, let me just zoom in a tiny bit more and we'll scroll up and down. All right, competitive analysis, headline, what is Excite and all the competitors doing? Scorecard, audience size, uh, posting cadence, use of video, clarity of positioning. Even though these are smaller companies, they're better at some things. And uh, why I use Excite Capital rather than other brand is we are a transparent organization. We love to know what we can improve on, and I think I got work to do. So, overview. Uh, let's see what it tells us in the overview part. LinkedIn URL, headquarters, industry, employment size, followers, um, um, assets under management, target audience, uh, a tagline on page, primary differentiator, uh, engagement. Now, this is the crazy part. It went into a lot of our posts and actually pulled up how many reactions and comments we have on these and what kind of posts they were. What was the topic? What was the hood? Now, to be fair to us, we do not really work on the Excite Capital page a lot. We work on the personal pages a lot. But this is actionable, credible info, which is pulled right off LinkedIn. And you know the best part? This can be done from a lot of LinkedIn bots and tools available, $39 a month, $69 a month, $100 a month, where they will inject a bot into your LinkedIn profile and get all this data for you. But one, they're not as good. Second, you're paying extra money. Third, LinkedIn will block your account because LinkedIn's policy states that bots are not allowed. This bypasses everything. Content strategy, how much we're posting. Let me zoom this a bit as well. Okay, how many posts we're doing? What are the primary formats we're doing? Video usage, signature, dominant content themes, call to actions, engagement patterns. What is the whole process to get people to sign up for everything? Takeaways, and then methodology, how it analyzes data. Takeaways should be, I think, something worth looking at. Um, so it says move to a weekly publishing cadence, build a founder-led video series, own the physician investor needs, a niche, publish a quarterly market report, pair every education post with clear CTA, and it goes on and on. Now, what it has done? Let me talk about the gravity and the size of what it has done. If you had asked an existing marketing team within your company and outsourced this to get this data for you, uh, 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 a team of 3 or 4 individuals would have taken a week if at all, to produce this data because they would be going into each profiles, pulling the data, then building their own analysis on top of it, and then producing such a report, and probably not even close to this. So in our segment, we were talking about analysis. This covers pretty much the whole wide gamut of what a business owner or professional who's looking for personal growth, side hustle would want to do is spot where they're at, spot where their competitors are at, and find out what's the best way moving forward. Uh, Another thing that we keep working within Excite and take this as a foundation to what you can do. We at Excite analyze hundreds and thousands of deals every day. There are a lot of CRNAs in joining us today who like to analyze deals and even single family homes. And then there's a lot of our partners who are joining us today who do some form of either real estate analysis or any other focused analysis on their business. What I'm going to show you next is how to pressure test a deal. But don't get me wrong, that is just one prompt to do one thing of the deal. You can use a similar prompt to whatever product, service, or anything else you want to pressure test on. So let's try something. Let's do instead of going into an asset or a single family home, I'm going to pressure test a market. So what I'm going to do is I am a real estate investor and I am planning to buy a single family home in oh, I keep forgetting to share my screen. Sorry about that. All right. So, any area anyone wants to analyze today? Let's open it to the crowd. Thanks, Deepak. I will just address you in a minute. Any city anyone wants to analyze? Ohio. Okay. Okay, let's do Ohio. That one came up first. Home in Ohio. Um, could you do a deep dive research for me and tell me why I should be or should not invest? I want you to look at all possible, let's do possible data points that pertain to this to this acquisition. Let's just do that. I have not given it any other guidance. Go to this website, blah, 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 nothing. At the end, could you produce, let's get fancy, a PDF for me? Let's see. So you can keep refining this prompt. The more data you give, like I want a specific county, specific city. I am also looking at specific data. I kept it open-ended because I wanted to see how it looks at this for me. And now it's asking me which Ohio market. Who asked for Ohio? Mona Lisa, do you want me to focus on something? Cincinnati Metro. All right. And long-term rental, short-term. I think let's do long-term rental. What is your target price? Let's take the middle ground. And how should I handle financial assumptions in the analysis? Since we're doing investment property, let's do DSCR. Imagine this. You wrote two lines and it asks you those relevant questions. Uh, just like probably a broker or an agent would do for you. So I'm excited. Let's see what that produces. Right after this, I'm going to take you all into Claude Design. We'll spend a few minutes in there. I'm sorry, we're just going a little bit over time, but I'm willing to spend time with you guys because I really am excited about what I'm about to show you. And if there are any topics left, we'll cover it next week. Uh, and trust me, next week is going to be even more exciting because it's less about what AI is and even more about what AI can do. So while it does that, let me go back to the chat. Deepak was saying something. Uh, you have explained things well. Thanks, Addy. Best session you've joined. Thanks, Deepak. That really means a lot to me, and I appreciate your kind words. I have 12 years of experience in broadcasting, and I'm new to AI, and I want to deep dive into it, but I don't have the programming knowledge. Can you please suggest a learning path? Uh, Let me tell you this. You're probably in the same position as I am. I don't know coding. Uh, and what I realized is I don't really give two shits about coding anymore because I can build anything. I have literally produced stuff that was in my dreams for the past, I don't know, decades. And I was always waiting on someone that someday that I might be able to hire 10, 15 developers and build a company out of it. And I think there are some people on this chat, including my dearest friend and brother Leslie, where we built something in the past week, which would have literally taken 2 years to build in a team of 10 members, and not to mention about five to $700,000 in investment. So the best way, Deepak, you can start on this path is start exploring Claude Cowork. Just do simple things. Go into Cowork and say, I want to build an application. Can you brainstorm it for me? Don't build it yet. The thing that it will produce, I'm pretty sure you will start to know that, oh, it is that easy. Um, to that point where my daughter is not uh, tech savvy. She's learning. She just about to graduate, and she's going into neurology or biotech. She's not a technology person. And yesterday, she has an idea. Day before yesterday, she had an idea for an app. I told her, ask Claude, don't ask me. And she went live with a website including structured databases, login screens within, I think it took her 1 hour, 30 minutes. And that app she's built would have taken at least two developers in at least 4 months. So what I would suggest is start just exploring Cloud Code. And there's a lot of YouTube videos, but if you want, I can just do a coding session in the next weeks where I can really break down everything and share my experience, like what I have learned so far, how to get over the stumbling blocks per se. But I'll be happy to do that. My cowork is still not showing after the reinstall and update. Shreen, thank you. Okay, I will design a session on that and share that. Next week, there's a lot of good things going on, but I will certainly work on a few requests that came in today for Cloud Code and a bunch of other stuff which really can we can do a deep dive on. So again, thank you guys. I think it's about to be done. Anita, let me do some research on that. Why it's not showing up, and I will get back to you 100%.
Thank you. Thanks.
So once this PDF is done, we'll straight go into Claude Design and prepare to be swept off your feet. Because I uh, I was working on it in my bed on my laptop, and when it produced the output, and Leslie's gonna love it. I told my wife, oh, what the? I would not use the last word, but it was like, oh my God, so many people are going to get fired today. But it is really amazing. And I think as entrepreneurs and professionals, it's really going to help us. Thanks, Shereen. It was It is wonderful having you here. And I'm just doing my part because I certainly feel that this is not something that, again, should be uh, uh, shared with only a few people. Everyone should know it. And going into the next few years, people who know it are really going to make a difference. All right. So I am out of extra usage. And I purposely did not set my plan to autofill because I wanted people to see this. You're out of extra usage. Now, just imagine what we've done. We've created Excel sheets, we browsed the web, we've collected data. I was about to build a PDF report. We've done a lot of analysis on contracts, email responses, and it ran out now. So what I'm simply going to do is add some dollars, and then we'll go from there. I don't think I need $50. Let's just add $10 for now. But what to do when this happens? The first thing that used to come to my mind was, oh my God, would it want to do everything all over again? No, we're good. It'll just carry on from where it left. Thanks, Leah. Thank you, Tatisha. Thanks, Gandhi. Thanks, Dr. Biker. Thank you all. I'm seeing those comments. I'm so excited. Thank you. I'm not going to turn on auto reload. We'll do it later. But what happens when things break? So I would just say carry on. Remember, I always say please because if these are the overlords that are coming and we get taken over by AI, I want them to know I was always kind and respectful so they do not kill me, right? Okay, so I think the PDF is almost done. It's just verifying that it looks great. Sometimes the PDF might look a little off, but you can just tell, hey, I don't like the way the PDF's looking. Can you fix this? Can you fix that? All right. So it has these sources, the DSR loan rates, vacation, eviction laws. Let's see what has come up with PDF. Single family rental investment deep dive, strategy, executive summary, bottom lies, yes, invest, but be surgical, target B class neighborhoods. And what are the neighborhoods in there? In this price range, what is the DSR ratio in interest rates you're looking at, or the gross revenues you're looking at? Let me just zoom in a bit. And then market fundamentals, neighborhood analysis, uh, what to look out for, rule of thumb. If median household income is below this, don't do this. Financial analysis. This is a report. I'm not kidding. Even compliance, legal, regulatory compliances, headwinds, risk, what you need to watch out for, tailwinds. Look at my prompt. It was 3 freaking sentences. Let's go back. I want you to understand the gravity of this and the width of the production that you've just done. It was probably 3 or 4 sentences, 1 paragraph, and it has produced a deep dive, which I can guarantee you would have had to hire a professional agency for doing this for you. Even your property manager cannot do this because, of course, this would require hours and days worth of time. And you've got a beautiful formatted report. What I usually use Claude best at is making myself better. When I have this information and I'm working with a broker or a lender, I feel like I know everything. And I have been told, like, when I was buying my house and was talking to the property broker, and she was constantly telling me, how do you know this? How do you know this? Why are you asking this question? Because I analyze all of it. I knew what questions to ask, and that puts you in a better position no matter where or which part of life you or which phase of life you're in, because you come out as someone who nobody likes to be know-it-all, but you come out as someone who knows his stuff. All right, let's go into the big thing of the day. We're running out of time, so I'm gonna show you. It is not this. I'm gonna show you Claude Design. Okay, so before I take you into what I've built, I will show you the interface. And let me kind of just zoom in a bit. So we have different programs at Excite. We have Uh, we do courses, we do mentorships, we do capital raising, we do a lot of different programs. We have communities to support our CNA friends. We have communities to support our investor friends, or communities to support pretty much everyone who's looking to grow in any part of their lives. What Claude design essentially is a different way of looking at things, and then it is really good at building things. So what I mean by that is you can build your own design systems. As of yesterday, I built a Vanguard design system, which is our mentorship program. I built a design system for my personal brand. You can build as many brand design systems in it. And all you got to do is go to claude.ai/design. It was launched yesterday. It is freaking awesome. Uh, the first thing when you sign up, you should create a design system for you. When you do that, you can just do first enter a company name and the blurb, what your company's mission is, what do you sell, how do you sell it, what's your target audience. Pretty much takes 10 minutes of your time, or maybe 20 minutes if you think deep. And this part also, you can just go back to Claude Covert and ask, I'm setting up a design system, can you produce my company blurb? And since it knows everything about you, you don't have to write it. That's the way I think technology should work, that I don't have to do anything except ideate. So you fill in that data here. If any one of you has ever built a website on GitHub, you can just connect the repo here. Our Vanguard website is built on GitHub, so I just connected that. If not, it's fine. Then you add your fonts, logos, and assets. So if you have anything of value uh, that could add value to your brand, it could be ebooks, it could be PDF documents, it could be any written matter or graphic. Upload all of them here, and then you continue the generation. It took me about 15 minutes for Claude to complete the generation, but when it did not even just analyze my brand. It analyzed pretty much every pixel of communication that would essentially go out. Once it has finished that, then it'll give you what you call a design system. And you can choose any design system if you're working with multiple brands. Now, before I again show you what I've built, here's what you can do. So a prototype is primarily polished mock-ups and production-ready versions of anything you might want to produce. This includes LinkedIn posts. This includes Instagram posts. This includes videos. This includes stuff you want to post on Facebook. This includes any other social media platform, YouTube thumbnail you want to create. The best part is, let me just create one and show you why I really love this platform, LinkedIn post. So I'm just going to work on a LinkedIn post. And let's actually go ahead and create one. So start with a context. So what is the design system we're using? You can click it and select any of the ones that you built or any one that Claude has built in. Check out animated video. If you give it enough context, it'll actually produce a whole animated video to explain something. We'll look at it later because it's a longer process, but I'm going to choose the Vanguard design system. That's our mentorship program. It's already in there, so I'm not going to add it twice. What I'm going to build is an interactive prototype. What that means essentially is the outputs that you get, you'll be able to edit, change text on that. If you have a screenshot of something that you love, add it here. Within design system, you can select other things like, hey, I want to be able to save as PDF. So make sure you select that. Then what else do you want it to do? PPTX. I don't like PowerPoint. I don't like working with them, so I'm going to skip that part. If you want to send it to Canva, you can do it. Although Canva, you don't need any longer once you see the outputs here. And then make a deck. If you want to convert that later into a presentation, you can do that here as well in a single click. Drag in a Figma file. People who work in Figma, you can just drag a file here and pick up your design language from here. Now, what do you want to create? We have this mentorship program, and I want you to build a LinkedIn ad campaign for me. I've already built this, but just to show how this works, I'm going to still show you for my program. And That's it. I'm going to keep it simple and let it ask the questions. So it started working. It'll give you a complete layout like a program manager is what's going to do. This is what got me excited. Which LinkedIn formats ad design would you like? So we don't need to care about, hey, what's the size of this? What's this? And you can put it in the single prompt, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook at the same time. Uh, Shreen, I'm going to process the recording along with the prompts I'm going to share with you. So you should have it by tomorrow. All right. So which LinkedIn ad format should I design? I'm going to do, I'm going to do a carousel. Let's do a carousel that I'm going to try today. How many variations you want? Let's do 2 for the sake of time. What's the primary campaign objective? I want to drive application, apply for a seat. No. Book a discovery call, lead magnet, brand awareness. Okay, let's book a discovery call. What audience angles would the ad hit? Doctors, physicians, CRNAs. It knows everything about the program that we're trying to do. It's not giving me high level talk, but description of exactly what I do. Say I want to target high W-2 professionals because they have the money. Uh, tonal range across the variations, restrained, mostly restrained, mix of restrained, explore a few options. I'm going to do decide for me. Which proof element should appear? So this is where it has analyzed our program and says, what do you want to highlight? I would say decide for me. I don't know. I'm new to this. I've never done marketing. Which hook style should I explore? Decide for me. Again, I don't know. Primary CTA. Decide for me. I don't know nothing about marketing. I'm brand new to this. Imagery strategy. Uh, Decide for me. How should I present the campaign? LinkedIn feed mockup, clean device canvas, both. I think I would do a mockup to see how it looks in the feed, and then what tweaks would be useful. So let's do a dark and light mode because I like sometimes building slides on dark mode and then light mode. So I'll have a switch. I would should be able to swap headline, CTAs, and cycle through hook variations. Continue. That is it. Uh, I have just given it a set of instructions from what he's learned about what Claude has learned about our brain. I've asked it to do a ton of ton of things for me, and it's going to stick to that strategy that I asked it to do. I left most of the thing I wanted to do with Claude, like, hey, go do it yourself. I don't care. What it's going to do is study everything I ask it to do and build out a plan. So here's the plan. Copy brand assets, which already it has access to in the brands package that we built. Build LinkedIn mockup shell, light dark toggle. Design a carousel ad, design carousel ad 2 with variations. Scary proof angle, wire up tweaks, names, and then verify everything it has built. Something I noticed yesterday is when AI builds stuff for you, you will see text overlapping, you will see something falling off the edge or just looking crappy. What it did was if something was even a pixel off balance, it verified it and fixed it instantly. So pretty much what I did yesterday was prompt and I was just doing other stuff, laying down, playing a game. And trust me, just wait for another 5 minutes what it came out with. I don't want to show you what you built before I show you this because this is something we've all built together. So let's look at this first. If you have any questions meanwhile, this will take 5 minutes or 4 minutes. I can answer those. Thank you, Shreen. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So tell me this, guys. While we wait for this, how many of you uh, are excited to take control and you start using these tools? Manny, this is claude.ai/design on the web. And I love that it's on the web because I can work on it from any computer. Ah, I got so many people excited. That means my job is done. Y'all might have read my post on LinkedIn from a few days ago. If you have, that a bot complained about me. Went to a social media platform for bots, and that got me thinking, why do I think that it's a bot? Because really it's not a bot anymore. It's an entity that lives within us, alongside us, not within us, alongside us, and it is helping us be better. And uh, I think when you start working with Claude, what I've realized, I watched a lot, I saw a lot of prompts people use to get outputs out of any AI agent, and I felt that we just expected Claude to do something. But going forward, when you prompt something, don't think you're prompting a computer. Think, and it helps, trust me, think you're prompting another human or another being. Because what I felt was we would say, can you go in and check this out for me? That's it. Would you do that to your employee or your colleague? The colleague will start asking questions back. Hey, okay, where do you want me to do that? When do you want me to do that? Do you have specific outcomes or scenarios in mind? Do you have this in mind? And you would spend 20 minutes, and then the employee would go back, spend 2 days, 5 days, 10 days, depending on the product or service, and then come back. Talk to Claude like you're talking to a colleague. Give it as much information, but do not confine it to a role. Um, and then you'll see the output totally different, wildly different. What if we have a project that has taken quite a while to build in ChatGPT? But if you mention start fresh, just curious on your perspective. All right. So, what is the project? Is it a project which has files in it, or something that it has produced, or it is just chat? Derek, you're if you can come on camera, I'm okay. Okay, with files, then it becomes much easier. What I would do is create a new project in Claude, put in all the files in that project folder, like I showed you, and tell Claude that I've been working on ChatGPT for this project. Can you learn everything there is to learn from from the files I put in the project folder? And then you can just carry on the conversation. It is scary good because I was building a website, and the same day I had to change my computer, and I forgot to take backup because I am excited about computers. The even the thought of getting a new computer is like is a drug, coke and crack for me. So I forgot to take a backup. I came back and I thought, oh, I lost all my chat. But since my cloud files were backed up on cloud, all I did was, can you scan the files? And we carried on like nothing happened. So try that before you delete everything or delete your chat from ChatGPT. But I am 99.9% sure. Leslie would laugh at my 99.9% statement, but I'm always 99% sure
And
that'll
ID is
work.
100%. It's 100% ID. It's not 99. Come on. Don't scale back 0.1%. It's 100% always.
So try Derek. I think it'll work. Man is asking, does Claude Design have the same memory from your usual? Not yet. That is coming. Anthropic announced yesterday they're going to merge and bring Claude Design into the desktop app. But since it requires a lot of, I think, other elements, it'll be in the future. Where right now it is standalone. The good thing though, let me show you this. If you go into your usage, Claude Design has a separate usage, which is distinct from your model usage. And I welcome that because if they were the same, uh, I will keep running out of credits like every breath I take. So you use Claude Design, it's a separate output. You use any other product or Claude Cowork code, it's a separate token. So Manny, hope that answered your questions for now. Derek, hope that helps you. Can you not back it up in ChatGPT product to GitHub? Manny, thank you. Yes, you can do that. But just transferring files from one to another, if you have a project in GitHub, you can literally just plug in GitHub and Cowork will pull in all your projects. But people who have not published their work on Git yet, Just copying the file works. And then what I have done is I create a personal access token. Sorry, this is getting a bit technical, but people who understand it, I create a personal access token on Git, give my personal access token to Claude and say, hey, this is my personal access token. This is the Git library. And as we go making changes, keep pushing it. So my website actually keeps getting live with the changes as I work on them. Once I finish my work, I would just go ahead and change that token or delete it. But to save you some steps, if it's not on Git, just copy it. If it's on Git, then you can just plug in the system. Now we've reached the verification stage. So it has, I think, created most of the stuff for us. We're just waiting for the output. All right, this is exciting. So I did not tell it anything about the program. It has built a crucial stage. We can switch light to dark mode, not just the screen, but the ads itself. We can switch the headlines without going in and typing in this messy place. We can just type it within that pop-up. Let it finish. It's just, I think, doing the last scripts, but it has created pretty much everything for me. And I'll be honest, I didn't give it a really good prompt. Like I could have been a little, slightly bit more uh, deeper into my prompt. But what it is actually showing me is creates a mock-up of my LinkedIn page, how it will actually look on the LinkedIn profile, along with comments, likes. So you get a real view of how this would end up showing when you actually post it. It has created two mockups for me, and I love the way it thinks. Uh, Driving urgency in the same thing. It has pulled up pictures. If you're featured in these pictures, shout out to you, and thank you for being part of the community. But it has just created an entire storyline in one go, and you can literally just either present, download, and start posting. Now, this is good. This is really amazing because it has showed me a live feed of what it can build. But I spent some time with a
Oh my
slightly
God.
long.
It even had Leah in there. Adi, go back to that slide. No,
Yep,
the other way.
I think it was this one.
No, 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 the other one. They had
Other
a
one?
picture with Leah and
Yeah, I know. I
Jeremy.
just showed
That
it.
one.
Where did it go? Yep.
Ah,
The-
This is beautiful. I love it.
oh my
Oh
goodness.
my goodness. This thing is insane.
and this is not even it. You don't need to work. Like I've had so much time to work in Canva where you would type in here while you're typing, it gets off balance, or you have to like align it again, and then you end up typing something and it just falls apart. No, you just need to change everything in that CTA box. You can switch live to see how it looks in both computers. So sometimes you end up creating a design on Canva, then you post it, and then you realize if you look at it on your phone, which is on dark mode, it looks really weird. You can test it here. And before you go live, pretty much just check everything. Now, I'm going to take you back to what I built yesterday because that was a slightly more elaborate prompt. Not going to lie to you. Look at this. I asked it to build LinkedIn ads for our mentorship program. I did not give it any context. I told it, this is my program. This is brand you've already built. And I am super excited. I'm so excited that I was thinking, do I make any changes to it? And I felt like I would be acting totally weird if I made changes to it without trying it first. Because it just looks so amazing. And it produced, I think, 10 ads for me. I think it's not 10. And then it also gives me stickers. Swap an image of a portrait of Leslie and Tenny when available and put it here. It gives me guidance on uh, where to change what. And then again, you can just export it and start posting. The next thing I'm waiting for is once it's produced everything and I fix everything to my liking, I say go ahead and post it on my LinkedIn. And I was so excited. that I tweeted yesterday to someone in Anthropic, and he replied this morning that that's coming. So, guys, this is your entire marketing engine set and forget. I know people have been doing this with bots, agents, but those also need people to make them work because agents break down, bots break down. You run out of credits, the whole system falls flat. So you have to give an open line of money to your agents to keep working, and sometimes that'll put you into thousands and $2,000 worth of token charges. Another thing I tried yesterday, I took my time to build this beautiful presentation for you guys. Um, and I put my best effort. And I said, okay, if you were presenting someone with a presentation on what is AI, simply explaining what is AI and build me a presentation, how would you do it? I did not give it any other prompt. Look at this, look at the typography, look at, I come from an Apple background. I've worked as a service provider to Apple for 15 years. I am, I always like to be pixel perfect when it comes to alignment, spacing, font, as much as I can be. This is outstanding. And the best part, again, you can switch from whatever format you want right there. And look at the slides. And there are things that scared the hell out of me because I had envisioned those slides, but I did not have the time to build it. I'm going to show you one of those slides. It pulled out data that 1956 was the first time artificial intelligence, the term was coined. The ingredients. AI has been in the pocket for years. Email, cameras, all are run on AI, lower intelligent models, but still. This is what I wanted to do in my earlier slides, what I presented today, this graphic. And I started building it. Uh, Image gen models on AI couldn't do it this good. And I gave up. I said, okay, let me just have a clean slide. But it built it for me without even asking. And the best part is I can just present from within here. I can download a PDF, a PowerPoint, a Canva, and a standalone HTML, which you can publish as a website or a standalone production PowerPoint, oh, sorry, production presentation, which people can go to a URL and just watch on themselves. Something I'm going to try today, which I have not had a chance to, is the video gen. If it can explain complex topics and create explanatory videos, a lot of people on this group do their courses, design their courses, or just want to help people understand basic concepts of their profession within their company, or just an employee onboarding. Imagine you have a video where an employee is onboarded instead of a dedicated team member helping them onboard. The video explains, go here, open your account, go here, sign up for this. When you're done with this, do this. It will streamline your entire operations and reduce the overheads that we face as business owners and professionals or side hustlers today. So I'm going to explore more on this, and I am going to do a deep dive for our next class and come back. But so far, I hope you have enjoyed everything. I'll watch out for some questions, and I'd love to spend. I know we've gone 30 minutes over, but if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat. If you have questions after today, please feel free to send them across. I'm gonna drop in.
So, Adi, how do we get our hands on this?
Hands on what exactly?
How do we start using this thing?
So as I said, when I send you the recording, in the
Yeah.
earlier part of the video, I covered everything from installation, signing up, and the settings you need to turn on. Just follow that and install Claude. It's free to download, free to register, free to sign up. You only start to start to pay when you start using it heavily.
Mhm.
And it's just $20 a month, which gets for most of the people in this group, that's going to be enough.
Yeah.
But once you realize the power of what it can do,
Mm-hmm.
I think money is going to be secondary because
Right.
it will deliver what you would have done in months and years in seconds. So,
Beautiful.
okay.
Quick
Hey,
question.
Addie.
Yep.
So when
Um,
I downloaded mine, oh, sorry.
no, you can go ahead.
So when I downloaded mine, I noticed it asked me to log in either through Google or through my Gmail.
Yep.
So I selected Gmail. Is that advisable, or should I have just created an account?
No, that is totally fine because the login that you used to sign in with Gmail, it is just authenticating you. It is not giving Claude any access to your data on that account. So that is totally fine. It is just another method of using your password. That's it. So you're good.
Okay. So it asks for the prompt. Do you if you give access, it would have access to your camera, your contact, and all that. And most of the time, I would always say no, but I'm not sure if that would limit its capabilities.
If it asks for your mic or camera, there is no harm because, as I
Okay.
said, unless you're using exclusively chat to work on the web, even then, your video and audio does not go to the cloud. So you're good.
Okay.
One more thing. If you look at, let me take you back to the demo screen for quick.
Thank you.
If you all look at the mic icon, I did not use it because my mic is feeding a lot of things today. But usually when I work alone, I don't even type. I just press to talk, type my prompt, and it's a game changer. It saves a lot of time. I think my wife uses Claude entirely on audio. She never types. So that is something you might love. All right. I think I had another question coming in. Can you please display any plugin? Deepak, are you looking for any specific plugin? Limitless pill. Yeah, I've wondered when I get that pill, but you're right. This feels like it. Does the
Question,
mic
Adi.
version? Yes, please.
So I have a website, but it's on the web, so it's not yet turned on. So I have the Webflow version, which I use sometimes with ChatGPT to design stuff. For example, brochures and all that. So would I be able to do that with Cloud? Pretty much putting in the what's it called? The link for the Webflow version and asking it to
Yes.
design
A
brochures and
brand strategy. Yeah, a brand strategy for you and a brand guideline for you. So you can do that same thing in both. So if you work in Claude, you can just prompt it that this is my website, learn everything, including the design, color themes, the whole brand. And then on Claude Design, you can just prompt it when you're building the brand book that just learn from this. It is really good at picking up brands.
okay, thanks.
And Adi, if you're using this for web development, I particularly use WordPress, but what would you
WordPress.
recommend? Yeah. Is it like a good fit for it, or is a better way to do it?
So here's the thing, WordPress, Framer, which we used to use, still use in some segments, and other design sites were primarily designed to give you code-less website creations. They were not designed to give you the best looking websites, but they
Mhm.
were primarily designed to give you codeless creations. But once you start exploring code cowork and you're able to create websites, including the latest technologies, Node.js, HTML, CSS, and even the newer techs, you no longer need to pay that monthly subscription to sites like Squarespace or WordPress. You can just literally go live through Git, or I use render.com within minutes. You just gotta, and since you work in WordPress, I think it's gonna be pretty easy for you since you know the technology back into it. But
Yeah.
I would rather use that because once you built anything here, you don't actually need to log in to WordPress and go in a page and start manipulating stuff. Like if you want to change things, you don't need to do that. What I do is I have a dedicated chat for that website. Once I need to, someone tells me, hey, this is done. Can you change it? I just ask, can you remove this or add this? That's it. It gets self-published. I'm done within like 30 seconds of prompting.
Beautiful. What's the like if somebody wanted to get started with the new what would be the quickest way to get up to speed?
With the
Is there
website,
yeah. Yeah.
the quickest way is to go into Cowork or Claude Code and start asking it to build a website. Um, I'll be really, really frank with you. Uh, though building websites is my own company's bread and butter, but
Oh,
I don't think that business will be a business going 6 months into the future because everyone can build their own websites. And I love that. I don't care if it's not a part of my business segment anymore. I'll build something else for myself from the amazing new technologies that we're seeing. But just go in and ask Claude, hey, I want to build this website. This is my brand. This is the sections that I want to build into that, and look for the magic. You really do not need to learn. I know we're used to the traditional way that learn something and then start using it. I would urge everyone to start using it and learn from there on.
and learn from there on. Okay. No, that's beautiful.
Uh, Anita, the mic version does no, it does not create a different response. All that it's doing is analyzing your voice and converting it to text. That's it. Any plugin or anyone? How plugins? Claude. So plugins in. Let me take. Okay, so plugins. In Claude, sorry, I lost train of thought for a second. So plugins in Claude work, they're called like connectors. So once you go in, let me check if I can actually show you something. If that's what you're referring to. Okay, so add a custom connector. Let me just share my screen quick so I can show you that. So you can add a custom connector if you don't have a custom connector, but you have API access to something. You can build a custom connector. I actually build a custom connector to connect our CRM to Claude. You can build it here. You would just need a simple technology background, like in troubleshooting, but you can do it. If connectors is, again, I'm assuming I got it right. What you mean? You can do everything. This plugin thing. If you meant this, I don't use it anymore because these are basically definitions of what you want Claude to do. And why I did not bring it up today, that if you go into settings and you look at skills and agents, this is going to ask you to write all of this to get a meaningful outcome of this. I don't like writing and doing stuff on my own. I hate that I have to put my mind to write code or bring my brand strategy in this day and age. So what I do usually is I would just say, I want you to build a plugin for me. I want you to build a skill for me, and the skill should do this, or the plugin should do this for me. It'll build it out, save it in the back end, connect it to your account. You're all done. That saves you the trouble of really going out and doing anything, if that's what you meant. All right. Opus Clips. No, Opus Clips layer doesn't work directly into this, but there's a video model called this Reframe or something, which works with Claude, and you can just basically put a video in your working folder and push a prompt that, Claude, can you check the video folder and produce 10 postable clips for me for whatever platform you want. It'll resize, pick out the best parts, edit, and produce it. It takes a minute to set up. So if you want, I can, again, do a separate class for that. I've noted down all the requests that I got today. So I will plan on making this a regular session and then impart whatever value I can. All right. Guys, anything else I can help? Otherwise, I think we've hit the time of the day and we went over 45 minutes. So just a warning, be prepared for another extension next weekend. But I will be back with more amazing stuff. And trust me, there's a lot more coming. We've touched the tip of the iceberg today. Next week, I'm going to do more actionable stuff, which relates to us as business owners, professionals. And before I let y'all go, thank you so much for joining today. It was amazing. It was amazing to see at some point over 70 people in the room today. It is uh, it is meaningful to me that so many people showed up and learned from what I could share. And y'all have an amazing rest of the Saturday, a great Sunday, and the rest of the weekend. Thank you.
Before everybody drops off, I'm just gonna say Adi feeds off the energy of people. So if you guys want him to keep giving this value, invite your friends, bring people next time. So if we have 100 plus people, you're gonna get more value. So share the wealth. Don't keep this to yourself.
Yes, I forgot to say that. Thank you, Leslie. Yeah, Leslie is always so kind in supporting everything that we do. So Leslie, thank you and appreciate you. Guys, just so you know, before you leave, one thing I forgot. Since this is the age of AI, I'm going to send my entire recording from today and let AI build the prompts and see how it goes. Uh, because I wanna get in a world where for all of us, producing something is basically ideation. We ideated a lot of things, built something together, something meaningful along with the questions. Let's see what AI comes up with, and I'm gonna share that raw with you. So, just so you know, uh, if that whole thing turns out absolutely BS, then it's not me, it's Claude. Blame Claude. But if it turns out absolutely amazing, then it's all of us. With that thought in mind, let you all go, and I'll see you next week. And I'm going to send you everything by tomorrow. Again, enjoy your weekend, and I hope to see you again.